There are so many misconceptions about Martin Luther King Jr. The first one is probably this idea that the I Have a Dream speech was primarily about racial integration. It wasn't. It was about broken promises. Martin Luther King Jr. went to the mall in DC on August 28, 1963 to get America to come to terms with its own promise. He stands in front of Abraham Lincoln. He says, "A great American in whose symbolic shadow we stand, signed an Emancipation Proclamation." He forced America to come to terms with its own contradictions. He forced America to come to terms with its own failure to meet up to its promise, its democratic promises. Martin Luther King Jr. really is a lingering reminder to America of the work that's still in front of us.
There are misconceptions, but I'd rather use the word misremembrances or misremembering. We don't remember that Dr. King was really a revolutionary in his thoughts and in his actions. His nonviolence was not inaction. It was active, it was assertive action, bringing about change. There was love and respect for one another. That was the beloved community that Dr. King preached about. That was his dream, really.
One misconception of Dr. King is that he never carried a gun. In fact, in the earliest days, in the midst of the Montgomery bus boycott, he was a victim of some threats to his life and his family and had to be talked out of carrying a gun by Bayard Rustin and others who saw his being strapped as a threat to what was becoming a nonviolent civil rights movement.
It's so important to talk about the misconceptions of Martin Luther King Jr. because we live in a world where people think you have to be perfect to be useful. By 67, Martin Luther King Jr. says, I suspect that most white Americans are unconscious racists. When Martin Luther King Jr. dies, when he gets shot on that balcony, in his pocket is a speech called "Why America May Go to Hell." So Martin Luther King Jr. was ushering in a moral critique of America because he was frustrated and because he didn't have the same vision he had in 58 or 59. Martin Luther King Jr. changed, he evolved, he made mistakes, he learned from them. If we understand that we are also going through that same journey, that quintessentially human journey of being imperfect, but still being useful to our struggle, useful to justice, then we understand that Martin Luther King Jr. is in all of us, and all of us can be the next Martin King. You ain't gotta be perfect to do that.
We shall overcome someday. Black men fight together.